There we go. All right. Yeah, let's get it. Let's freaking get it. I'm talking 9 o'clock. Let's go smack some quads around. You know, there's two kind of lifters out in the world. Now, I could probably make a million different differentiating statements that would fit that description, right? There's the lifters who kill it. There's the lifters who don't. There's the ones who do their cardio. A lot of do's and don'ts, really. A lot of do's and don'ts. So I'm gonna make sure I add to the percentage of guys smacking their legs around, right? Actually making sure they keep some meat on their bones when it comes to the waist and below. But I see the appeal of not doing it. Like, don't act like, I'm just sitting here as though I can't even fathom why somebody wouldn't hit legs very consistently. I get it. It's kind of hard. And if you're walking around like Tom Platz with big ass fucking trunks, you probably really want to keep hitting your legs because you're already they're already impressive. If anything, the bigger that I've gotten, the more that I've wanted to keep sticking to my workouts and keep making progress, because I've seen a taste after a year of the gym. And you've whether you've lost 100 pounds, whether you've gained a couple pounds of muscle, whatever, once you get that taste, right? Once you get that first hit of holy shit, these pants used to be insanely tight, now they're loose. Or, whoa, I've never seen my forearm veins like this. Or somebody says, hey man, have you been working out? Or you come back to school after a summer or a semester and you're bigger than before and people bring it up. Right? Or somebody kind of makes, shit. It was funny. I had to, so the only time I've ever gotten a speeding ticket was on this road. And I wasn't even going quick. I swear I was only going 40 something. And technically it's a 35. And people are kind of zooming down this road anyway. So it felt very strange in the moment. But I had to go to court just to get this whole ticket sorted out. I don't remember, but I come in, this was maybe a year and a half ago or something. I think I said it in a video, so if you've been a long time viewer, you know the story. But this was last year, middle of winter. And I go in, I'm wearing this big ass fucking puffy winter jacket. And then the guy who's running the x-ray machine, older dude, he's like, man, it's a freaking big ass jacket, man. He's it was comically large. And it was funny because then when I take the jacket off, he goes, "Oh, all right, I guess the jacket matches." So that was just kind of funny that he said that. But little things like that, once you get that feedback, and it's not just it's kind of from the world coming back to you, what you've been working has kind of resulted in a change. Well, then you're going to keep going. So if you want that feeling with legs, you gotta work your way up to it, So rather than just fuck, my legs aren't where I want them to be, I'm just not even gonna hit them. Screw it. Pants only, we're good. More time to focus on arms and back and chest. Hell yeah. Instead of that logic, which I understand the appeal of, I see the appeal. If anything, hit your legs a little harder, and before you know it, you're gonna be able to say yeah, man. 315 for 10, dude, that's just a working set for me. That's just a working set of squats. Hell yeah. Or you'll the first time I ever saw separation of my medial quad and the teardrop and the outer and everything, it all just adds up to make me want to hit them harder. And then now, being leaner, every little aspect of that is a little bit higher, because the leaner I am, the crazier all this stuff looks, if you kind of feel me. But I'm gonna follow this cardio with, I don't know what I'm saying, follow this quad pump with some treadmill, and I might tone it down. Usually I chill out on the cardio after quads specifically, because I just hit my quads. I don't want to destroy them. I want them to just kind of have some time to rest. But the treadmill isn't really that hard on your legs. So maybe I'll just do the same 45 minutes, because I like keeping a groove. If I start backing off on my cardio, I feel it just, it kind of throws me off. I want it to just be a regular day as normal. I'm going to do my 45 post-workout, I'm going to do my 45 minutes a night, and then just keep up that momentum, and keep it moving. So instead of the 5% incline, if I can feel that like my legs are really kind of cooked, maybe I'll just do 3 miles an hour flat. And dude, 3 miles an hour flat on the treadmill, no incline, no nothing, very easy. You know, I'll probably, if I did that, I think my heart rate would probably be around like maybe 120 or something for that period. But I'll probably just end up doing the 5%, and I'm just saying that as like a little bit of a pre-lift guess. But quads isn't going to be too heavy, like nothing crazy, because I mean, what am I doing right now? All I'm trying to do is stimulate them so that they maintain their size and a good chunk of their strength as I get leaner. You know, when I'm eating a friggin' zillion grams of carbs per day in an off season, well, shit, that's the time to really push it. That's the time where I'm going to be like, okay, I'm talking super heavy squats, leg press, leg extension, supersets into leg press, like things like that. But dieting down, I just need a pump, you know, so that's going to be some leg extensions, maybe some leg press with a little superset, but nothing too heavy. Like, if this is not a quad workout that built my quads. So if you want to see one of those, maybe I'll link a crazy one. This is just a couple of months ago. I hit this leg day and I did 6 plates for 8 on barbell squat. I wish I would have gone for 9 because I've done 8 before, like a year and a half prior. So I only tied my all-time PR. But yeah, man, I mean, it's fucking nuts. So I can back off on that. I can handle not doing a crazy cool big ass heavy squat while I'm dieting, because I'm just kind of giving myself this reset period. And now next off season, you know, I'm getting kind of in the further future, once I start getting some more size on, that's going to be the time to really leverage it and say, okay, let's get some weight moving again. But today, much more pump concerned. So let's stop talking about it and just go freaking make it happen. Okay. So, upon further inspection of a proper warm-up, a little bit of calves, a little bit of adductor, waiting for the leg extension to open up, I'm really just gonna camp out here. So I think I'll use this as some Sam time. So I'll record the first set. I'm gonna do like just 7 or 6 of these. Then we can kind of jump to the pose down. But there's really nothing to see. So we can get straight to some post-lift discussion after this. I'm just gonna do some alternating left to right reps first. But normally, every workout, I just record every set. So if you're curious, like, you know, whoa, did he only do 6 sets on this chest day? Yes, unless otherwise referenced. Like, I'm doing more, I'm not just doing the one, but it's gonna be the same thing every time, so there's just not so much to see. So unless referenced, usually these workouts are just exactly what goes down. But let's get this one done and do it like 6 more times, and then we can jump to the pose down. Okay. Whew. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know if it's still in stock, but this is like a 3-pound t-shirt. It's called GSM is the unit, grams per square meter, or square, I don't know. Either way, I think I learned a valuable lesson today, is that I need to eat a more substantial pre-quad meal, especially if I'm going to do like a morning lift earlier. Yeah, holy crap. I was definitely feeling it for sure. But so I did like 6 more sets of leg extensions, half probably left to right method, a few double leg. And then as a finisher, I do single leg squeezing, 5 reps, and then a set of body weight sissy squats. So that's where I'm gonna grab onto really anything and then completely have my weight on my toes and just sink my body down. So you think regular squat here, right? Butt back, knees forward, shoulders above your feet. But with the sissy squat, I'm holding on to something, and instead of bending at the hips, I'm basically keeping my hips pretty much straight, and the only joint that's bending and contracting is my knee. So going all the way down, like, knees just 6 inches over the ground, bouncing in that stretched position. And that's a good cue for if my lift was good, if I'm feeling pumped. Because when I do those reps, if I feel like my quads are gonna like pop, and at the bottom, I'm not even like pushing, I just feel like my quads are trying to retract back like rubber bands. Well, that tells me I got a bunch of blood flow into them, and odds are they're pretty freaking pumped underneath. So let's see how they're looking. And of course, this is a flat 230 morning weight, so not carved up or anything like super fancy. But yeah, I mean, shit, even with a pump, that's a pretty substantial amount of grain. Like nothing wild, but still, yeah, I'm cool with that. So, this one especially, this is what I want to see. I don't know if it actually translates, but along this whole sweep of meat, there are these cross hash lines. Let me try to really get them out. Yeah, you tell me, can you see any of that? So that's quad feathering. And I've never seen it this like I've seen it like down here before, but it's never come all the way up to the top. And that grain just looks fucking sick. So the leaner I get, which I'm feeling pretty lean now, even here, like with a quad flex, like there's not a lot of pinchable skin. Also, I'm pumped, so I'm a little bit larger. I'm like filling in my skin with extra blood flow in my quads. But we're getting there. We are certainly getting there. Let me try to do a little vein pop, and then we can, then I can go back and do my freaking cardio. Oh my gosh. Ooh. A little bit of caffeines too. Actually, a lot of caffeines. Let me do this deserves its own shot. What am I thinking? I'll have to see if the camera actually translates. Because sometimes I feel like I look freakier in person, and then other times I feel like I look freakier in the video. But either way, it's still cool, because in one instance, I get to feel cool in the gym, and then in the other, I feel even cooler when I go home and edit this whole thing together. But I got a couple errands before I headed back to the house, so the car talk may be linearly in time a little bit in the future, not just 45 minutes away once I finish my cardio. But either way, for you, it's gonna feel like a split second. So I'll see you back in the freaking Stang. All right, I have kind of been all over for the last like freaking hour. I got the key guys sorted, so the keys are good, cardio's good, we're good. So I had to stop back at, I only used 2, and I had to stop at 3 gyms for this whole little freaking morning trip. First that gym for legs, then the Planet Fitness for cardio, because I had to go home or not all the way home. What did I have to? I had to go get the key from the guy in my gym, then go back, and then come back to the a little bit hectic, but not really. Nothing kind of wild. But no, I'm feeling good now. So half of the day is already complete. 45 minutes of cardio done. Quads pumped. They were definitely freaking yeah, that was no more of this like damn near fasted quad training. I'm gonna make sure to eat at least a big breakfast first before quads. Now I know. But in terms of the cardio, like, you know, it's Sam. He loves cardio. He talks about it all the time. He loves doing it. I wouldn't say that's exactly the case. You know, that's it's not as though I'm just you know, having the freaking time of my life, knee slapping as I'm on the cardio bike or the treadmill. But I do kind of have a few thought processes that make me more excited to do it as I'm doing it. And one of those is kind of like a little self-flex of just, I know so many other people are skipping it. And it's not even like crazy hard. Like, this is not running a 5K sub however many minutes is fast, or like doing a marathon, or like studying for the MCAT or something. I know a guy who did that. He did really well. So that was but his ass was fucking locked in to be able to do that. The cardio is, I mean, out of all training, cardio is the most mindless. It demands the least mental effort and focus. All you have to do is sit and do it. So it's kind of this weird like back and forth of, it's not that hard to do, and yet so many people have trouble actually fitting it in. Obviously, if you have there's caveats to this. There always are. If you're a legitimate, like, dude, I'm awake at 5 a.m. and I'm not home until 9. Like, that's legitimately what your day schedule is. Well, then the excuse of like, dude, I just don't have time to do blah, blah, blah. Well, that's legit. But not everyone is like that. Maybe less than like 10%, 5% of people are like that. You know, it just doesn't happen that much. So the way I look at it is, it's more of it's just a back and forth of desire, right? So I like to think that basically in everyone's mind, they've got this little teetering table, you know, and whatever they do, their action is this little marble, and obviously their actions are going to follow wherever they're leaning, you know. So you got like two opposite sides of the spectrum. Okay, I want to do my cardio and get in good shape and kind of just lock in, and then also just in general, it's good for your just overall health. Like, that's not exactly the point of why I'm doing the cardio, but it still is. It still plays a role, of course. So there's this kind of like, I want to lock in, and it's countered by, I want to chill. I just don't want. I don't want to go. I don't want to be sweaty. I don't want to blah, blah, blah. And I'd say more often than not, that's where people lean. And it's as simple as that, you know. So as many times as people are going to come up with an excuse, they're going to say this, that, and the other, or, you know, virtue wasn't convenient at the time, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's just a masquerading of the fact that really they just don't want to do it. And what's really bad, not even if you're trying to like lie to somebody else, like, oh, you know, I didn't want to do my cardio, is an internal monologue of a lie, convincing yourself that, you know, actually it's better that I don't lock in and do the things that I want to do, or not even that you want to do, but the things that you know you should do. Like, to have this internal just, you know, debate of like, actually you shouldn't do any of that and you should just stay home and chill and play League of Legends and you know, whatever. I just say League of Legends because it's like comically funny how many hours people have played that game for, but it could be anything. Like, that sucks. I never want to, I do not want to be wired in such a way that I'm always self-sabotaging my own goals in exchange for just instant gratification and instant like convenience and chillness. You know, I had this friend group in high school where we kind of had a saying for when we talked about someone who had absolutely nothing cool going on, like they weren't working on anything, they weren't like hustling for something, like they just nothing. And you know, we said they were chilling. Yeah, they're chilling. Nah, man, they're just chilling out, bro. It's like it's you know, you can chill. Everybody needs some chill time, of course, but it's got to be countered with at least a semi-comparable amount of locked-inness into whatever that thing may be. You know, I don't have I don't have 14-hour days of hardcore bodybuilding. I've got my cardio, I've got my regular training, I've got my diet, and then that can kind of be balanced out by a little bit of, or like the editing and stuff, but it's kind of balanced out, right? When someone's whole day is just purely, just fucking sad, just nothing, you know. At what point are you living, and at what point are you just alive? You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, it's not that deep. If I have a day where, like if I have a rest day and there's not much going on or something, I don't really have rest days very much. But if I did, well, it's not like I'm suddenly worthless or anything. I'm not saying it's like a day by day, you have to be perfect or else anything. But when you look at the averages over years, over months, shit, man, you only have so many of those. So if I know that's the case, and I know I can only be doing all my stuff for so long, I want to freaking, make hay while the sun's shining, or whatever version of that phrase is accurate. So just that makes me excited. I know every day I'm clocking an hour and a half of cardio towards my goals. Every day I'm clocking my macros and getting a badass pump, which I just want to do anyway, but then it also is something I want to be able to say I did, so it's kind of a twofold motivation there. I want to be able to add up all these hours and look at the statistics of the previous year, which now that it's January, we'd say this year, and I want to look it all up and be able to calculate and see legitimate, dude, man, I was here in the beginning, and now at the end of 2026, I'm here. Frick yeah. Try not to bust an F-bomb out on you. So that's what I want. I want to be a different guy at the end of this year than this year. I don't need different beliefs. I'm not saying I have to think different things or anything, but just have, to have gone through the process of this entire year of everything that I'm working on. I want to be different in some way. I want to be ahead of the game. I want to be leaner. I want to be bigger. I want to have met more people and kind of heard more experiences and thoughts and just be different. The last thing I want to do is be stagnant. I don't want to plateau. I don't want to plateau in the gym, and I definitely don't want to freaking plateau in life. So just something to think about. And it doesn't have to be a groundbreaking, thought-provoking revelation. Just today, hour and a half of cardio, how many people did that? I mean, I guess I haven't done it yet. I only just did 45 minutes. I'm assuming I'm going to do my other 45 tonight, which is a pretty good assumption, at least looking at the stats from before. But how many people are doing that? I'm not saying everybody cares to do it, but for me at least, I know not a lot of people do, and it makes me a little more excited. It's like the video, I'm 60% sure it's Mike Tyson, and he's talking about how he likes running in the morning when everybody else is sleeping. Everybody else is fucking asleep, all cozy in their bed, and he's getting after it. And that's a good feeling for me. I'm not doing a crazy 5 a.m. wake up schedule right now. I'm kind of a little more standard, wake up at 7-ish, so I don't get that extra early morning feeling. But the same thing, I know I'm pedaling, and it's kind of like a spin around in my mind of okay, I'm kind of uncomfortable pedaling right now, or if I had a preference, I'd probably prefer not to be walking on the treadmill. I'm breathing heavy. It's kind of hard. I'm not saying it's super easy or anything, but knowing that it's a little uncomfortable within my ability to handle, and that a lot of other people would just give up or not even try, it's just like this chip on your shoulder, you're in the in crowd, And I'm not even talking about a crazy ass a crazy lift. I'm talking about just the feeling I'm getting from doing the cardio and knowing that nobody else is doing it. So it kind of just expands from there into the lifts, into the calorie tracking, into everything. Not that not that we should all be in competition with each other. That's not exactly the point. That's not how I think about it. But it at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is it does make me feel good knowing when I'm in the gym hitting my cardio, not a lot of other people are willing to do that, and it just kind of makes me feel good. So I guess I'm going to end today off with try to be in the in crowd. Right? Clock a couple of hours, see how you feel. Clock a couple of hours of cardio and see what happens. At worst case scenario, you say, screw it, I'm not doing this anymore. But at least you probably did a few, right? So that's how I feel about the matter. My plan now is to go get some food in my system. It's actually, I got to turn the heat down. The sun is shining, so it's It's getting a little bit warmer, which is kind of nice. Last night it was a little bit of a freaking, maybe not winter wonderland, but it was pretty snowy. So when I drove into town to do cardio at the Planet Fitness, I was kind of slipping around every time I took a corner because the ice trucks hadn't drove out and like poured out all the salt, which was kind of fun for me. But yeah, I'm gonna get home, get some food in my system, get ready for another cardio session tonight, and then that's all I got, man. So shit, I will see you tomorrow. This year, though it's just beginning, it's gonna feel like it's over like that. You know, before we know it, and I say this every year, I've been doing these videos now, this is the 3rd year coming of like the full-on YouTube lifts. It's gonna happen like that. I've said it 3 times, I'm gonna say it again. It's gonna be December, and then we're gonna see the same thing like we just saw at the end of this year. My phone was getting just flooded with a bunch of 2026, you won't even recognize me style like TikTok edits. And you know what? More power to you if these guys actually make it happen, right? So just try to be that 1%. That's for freaking sure. But I'm gonna go eat something, and then I'll see you tomorrow for a badass freaking chest day. I'm assuming it will be, but same thing with the fact that I'm gonna do my cardio tonight. It's a pretty safe assumption. So I'll just have to see you then to confirm it.